It's a pleasure to be here and to present you G-Life Quantum. You have today with us Sebastian Gerelli, is also the co-founder. He is heart surgery, pediatric and for adults, and myself, I'm supporting him on the CEO role. What is our technology based on? Our technology is based on the principles of photobiomodulation. Maybe you have heard about photobiomodulation, but just as a recap, today it is used in the process of pain management, tissue management, damages. It's extracorporeally applied. And as it is applied extracorporeally, there are limitations. And these limitations are related to the dosimetry and the radiometry, which do not allow at the end to establish a standard of care protocol. You will see here quickly in a video how it looks like. So this photobiomodulation is already applied in the US, as you know, since about 40 years, and is classified by the FDA as class 2. But when light passes through the different layers of the skin, as you see here, what's happening? You cannot control it. There's a lot of scattering, there's a lot of absorption and reflection. So this means, despite the positive impacts and effects that you see, you cannot establish a proper standard of care protocol. So what have we been doing? We bring this to the next level. The next level means at the end is where the whole power lies here, because what we are talking about light, photonic emission interacting with biological tissue, which is a very important impact, as you know, since many years. Let us show you how it looks like. We name this technology quantum biomodulation technology. Here's our laser source, a fiber optic, and a catheter to enter, as here's an example, into the heart muscle. What are we doing? We are targeting the cardiomyocytes and more particularly the mitochondria. What's happening in this process? As we have clear focusing, we work on ATP increase, NO release, and ROS modulation. So at the end, the key mechanism of action that we are triggering is the modulation of ATP, ROS, NO, and others. And as such, we are driving a first epigenetic treatment approach as we are influencing the genomic expression. So what is very important about this technology, it is extremely reliable and reproducible. And we allow for a dosimetric and radiometric approach extreme high precision. So this means we can establish a standard of care protocol. I will not discuss the technical parameters because these are in line with what photobiomodulation is about and is in line at the end what the FDA already classified, the guidance that came out beginning of 2023, and where clear there is any modification of biological tissue. Just to summarize, very important, we provide precise dosimetry, very high efficacy, very easy to use. Here's a percutaneous technique. I will showcase you very much on our first indication and to be administered easily in different settings of care. What are we targeting as first indications? So this is just a spectrum. What you have to think about, we are providing a platform technology as we are driving the mitochondria. This platform technology is agnostic to many diseases in our body, as you know. The first indications we go after are in the secondary care setting: ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and acute coronary syndrome. Mortality rates for ACS are around 20% and up to 40% plus for ARDS today. When you look at 30-day readmission rate, it's 1 out of 5 patients within 30 days. And just for these two indications, the expenditure to the US healthcare system alone is 50 billion plus. And we are conservative here. When you look at just the key initial markets we are focusing on, US and Europe 5, we have 2 million plus patients. You can imagine how many patients are dying these days and how many sequelae we have, for example, on ARDS when you go on mechanical ventilation. We are targeting a 10 billion estimated market size just for these 6 markets. So let us have a look and delve a little bit into ARDS, our first indications to come. I will show you a little bit how it looks like. So this is how the lung is exposed to ARDS. Drastic difficulty of breathing, high mortality rates when you get put on mechanical ventilation. We apply a very simple cellular method To do what? To introduce the fiber optic into the right atrium. And what are we triggering? We intervene at the end as a primary endpoint on the PaO2-FiO2 ratio, which is guiding the ARDS. We have demonstrated significant statistical improvement, and with 7 days of treatment, we expect reduction of mechanical ventilation, reduction of ICU stay, and 30-day readmission rates. This is the improvement picture that you will observe. Where do we stand? We have completed today the preclinical trials, 25 pigs. The results are outstanding, fully consistent. We are aiming for the human trial to start by end of this year with a class 2 classification and potential breakthrough designation by the FDA. We demonstrated, and this is what you reproduce on the primary endpoint, statistical significant improvement, and we have very positive trend on O2 reduction, on P50, and all of this benefit for a very strong patient recovery. Let us look at our second indication, which is about 1 year behind, which is acute coronary syndrome. Let us start about where we stand. So you have to keep in mind we have about more than 500,000 patients in the US suffering from ACS today. When you have the heart here with the ischemia lesion, what we are doing is we introduce our quantum biomodulation either during CABG or PCI. Here you see a CABG, and we do this in a pre, pair, and post condition just for a few seconds, so it does not change the standard of care. It's really a few minutes that we are driving it. And you see on the left side the reperfusion without our technology, on the right side with the technology. So when you do an MRI scan on this, I can tell you that the number of lesions is dramatically reduced. So we are really increasing cardiac contractility, and at the end we are reducing reperfusion injury. So you can imagine it's like when you have a heart attack, what's happening, about 50% of your heart cells during the reperfusion process are dying, and we can reduce this tremendously. Where do we stand? Engaging with the FDA to secure class 2, driving a breakthrough designation with human testing to start by the end of this year, with at the end, we believe, a commercialization process happening during H2 of 2025. We are looking for a range of 15 to 30 million. To do what? To continue our preclinical trials on ACS, to run the human trials on ARDS, and to go into the sales and distribution process. So far, we have been funded to about 3.5 million by BPI France and private angel investors. The team is a very strong team about different expertise areas. You have Sebastian and myself here today. We have a very strong head of technology center driving with the CDMO where Jabil is supporting us. We are doing our preclinical trials in-house. So this means this gives us an agility and flexibility to be extremely fast. And as you know, for example, also in Europe, the MDI 2017 change, as we have all to do also in Europe now, preclinical trials, we have this capability in-house. And our chief commercial officer, more than 20 years in the business, has been working on driving strong partnerships and how to drive access and uptake in the business. So we welcome you to prepare humanity for the quantum age of medicine. Thank you very much.